The ghost saga continues at the haunting of Hobart Ave. We did a search, diedinmyhouse.com. You'll never guess what came up.
Adversity? Bring it. The struggle? We welcome it. Snooze on life? Never that. We are Dave Regina and Mike Pirelli, and this is the No Snooze Podcast. Come on.
Welcome back, No Snooze Podcast, show 75. We're getting to 100. Can't believe it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Jets, Giants loss. We'll talk about a little bit of everything. Ghost stories. We'll talk a little Bitcoin. What do you got on tap today? Some questions?
Yeah, we got some questions from the people, from the listeners. You guys have been submitting some stuff via DM, so I was able to pull those. I don't know if you see my T-shirt, but
Discipline over distractions.
I'm filling this out right here, NoSnoozeShop.com.
It looks like it says discipline times distractions, which is kind of how I live life.
Discipline times distract. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So lots to go over. Very excited to hop into it. As always, highly caffeinated. I've been doing the Ghost pre-workout.
Oh. Did you name her Taylor?
What's going on right now? Everything is revolving around haunting Ghosts,
yep.
October. But just by coinky-dink, Ghost pre-workout. You know what I realized?
What?
It hit me one day, and I'm like, what's the serving size on this bad boy? I go upstairs. It's supposed to be 2 scoops.
And you've been taking 1.
I've been taking 1.
So you haven't been feeling the ghostly effects.
I took 2. I was
Wired?
buzzing. I was lifting everything inside. I picked up Petey, started curling him.
You're kind of like my buzzing. It's like a brother and a cousin mix. My buzzing,
That's
right?
a really good
You
one.
like that?
So the Ghost pre-workout, I got the weight belt. Everything's rolling in. So should we just hop into pod bods?
Yeah. Well, Podbod was rough. So, last week was, from the time we recorded to now, was a disaster in my household. I didn't even talk to you about it because we try not to talk during the week, but dude, so Callie, I had mentioned on the last episode, was throwing up 2 nights in a row.
Mm-hmm.
The following 2 nights, Karina gets the chills, fever,
Oh my God, a ghost?
throwing up. Then the next day, Daddy starts throwing up. Yeah, that's me. Starts throwing up, 103 fever, uncontrollable chills. Couldn't work out for 2 days. Had to bang out of work. I was up all night in the bathroom. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. Now we think, oh wow, we have COVID, right? Yeah. So we had to drop the baby off to the in-laws, so because she was then feeling better. But now we were literally crippled. Oof. Mike, the way that my body ached, I have never in my life been this sick ever. So we're rushing around trying to get like a COVID test. Long story short, comes back negative, right? 24 hours later, completely gone.
Really?
Yeah, like the most wild thing for both of us. Couldn't even eat anything, Mike. Like if I had a Ritz cracker or a saltine, coming out both ends.
Really?
Yeah, it was not a pretty view. But I almost took it was so ironic. Last episode I mentioned I have a golden rule: never take 3 days off. Right?
Never take 3 scoops.
Literally on the 3rd day, I was like, I can't work out, and I had to work out just to get it in to make sure that I wasn't fugazi. But I guess if you're deathly ill like that, but something is definitely going around. And we got vaccinated. So you think from the research, what they say, for us to be, and this is what one of the doctors said, for us to be exhibiting that extreme amount of symptoms, which was every COVID symptom under the sun.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They said it would have been highly unlikely that it was. But then we ended up getting tested, negative tests. But we were convinced. Yeah. At one point, I was like, I'm losing my smell. Because then you get in your mental too, right? Yeah. And what the media has done to us now is like anytime you get anything, you think, or everyone else thinks.
And the variants and all that.
That it's COVID. And then I started downward spiraling in my head like, wow, we had people over on that Sunday. Like, it's only Wednesday. Like, I got to contact everybody. I took a Sharpie to my nose. I was like, no, okay, my smell's still there.
You smell insulted.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Scary stuff. I got, me and Dana, when we first moved into the house, had a similar thing. It was a 24, maybe 48-hour thing, and I was like convinced, oh my gosh, this is it.
Perspective piece, like, just value your health.
Health is everything.
It really is everything, because what I was feeling when I would walk, my joints and everything felt like I was almost crippled.
If you work out with the Strength Cartel, 5 a.m. in the morning, 5 to 6-ish, you'll feel that way, because I've been so sore.
Your pod, I know I make you giggle a lot.
Do I make you giggle?
You make me giggle in the morning.
Well,
and you look good. I'm not knocking it, but it is so.
I need time. It's
good. The belt, the tucked in hoodie with the straps hanging.
I don't know if you noticed.
Like it is. It's
a tough look.
It's a giggly moment for me.
Do I look more athletic?
You definitely look more athletic.
Okay, that's
and I'm
good.
happy
for
you.
I think I need the high shorts.
I will say the other bully side of me
high socks
thinks you need to put more weight on the bar to be having this equipment.
I don't
on
have
you.
any more weight.
Like,
I gotta buy more.
Need
It's
more
expensive.
donuts. But why are you wearing a weight belt?
Do you have donuts?
Curling
back
like,
support, dude. Back support.
But,
support.
But do you think that? And yes, it looks good. It does look good.
I'm doing it for the views.
But do you think that you're gonna get to a place to where now you can't lift without the support of these belts and stuff?
No, when I first started getting back into lifting, I'm not even gonna say heavy, but lifting aggressively on weights, my back gave out the first week and I got really scared.
Gotcha.
I did, and I couldn't walk.
That's because you probably went balls to the wall like Mike Pirelli does.
I went pretty heavy.
You know?
Well, for me, I went pretty heavy on squats. I've had a mental block on squats my whole life. Like during football, I'm the guy skips legs like that. That's me. I'm that guy.
Curls for the girls.
Yeah. I give Frank a hard time. I say it looks like he walks on his hands. But that was me. So when I did it, I was like, I don't know if I should do another set. I deadlift. Yep. I'm squatting now. I went down. I had that pop sharp pain. So I'm like, this could be really bad.
Tingling after?
Couldn't like sit up. And then I worked the whole week. So I'm like showing houses, barely getting upstairs.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can't take that risk. I got to get a weight belt to at least hedge against it.
Yep.
And if I'm going heavy, I got to be very controlled. Like I got to do maybe 3 instead of a 5, but do them really perfectly, and then maybe add another set type of thing. So I'm figuring out working alone is tricky because there's that mental, I'm going to bench this. I'm gassing out, but I think I can get it for 3, and you can't half commit.
But that's why you have rack bar to catch it.
You can't though, because if you do it certain exercises, but certain ones it's just realistically it's like you could, but you're still gonna be stuck under the weight, and it's 6 a.m. So I routine wise up at 5, no problem this week. Difficult, no problem this week. Last couple weeks it was like 5:15, 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
Finally back in the routine. Work's gotten busy again, which has forced me to be like regimented. So up at 5, pre-workout 5:15, scroll through some videos of Strength Cartel to see what I want. If I'm doing biceps today, bis and tries, which I did today, I look up big boy biceps, and then I literally will watch them doing an arm workout. He has so much content that it fires me up to do a bicep workout. Then I do another video of him while I'm working out with him.
Gotcha.
So he's like, come on, easy money. And I think he's talking to me.
I'm still waiting for the invite.
Yeah, well, I got to get
What's going
to a
on?
point.
What do you mean?
All you do is put me down on social media, and then you want an invite? You want to come to my?
How do I put you down?
You want to come to my place?
Listen, just because Daddy's putting, what did I say?
You had like 4:15 on
3:15 on a string. I had it on a string.
Where's the 4:15? Let's get up there.
I don't know, but I
That's pretty good. Weight to whatever ratio.
Yeah, I mean, my bench press has always, for the past couple years has been good, but I really stopped going like heavy like that just because of like my joints and stuff. It's nice to do it. It's nice to do it once a week, but even with the squats, right? Like for years now. I mean, I haven't put more than 275 on a squat rack, but I do it. No, I'm serious.
I know.
But I do it, I do sets of 15. If you see Mike's face right now, it's hilarious. But I'll do sets of, 15 to 20 reps at 225.
15, 20 reps. I'm doing
serious.
3 sets.
No, because to me, I'd rather cycle and do squats once a week. It maintains, that natural testosterone for me.
When you're trying to build, you got to really try to get
I mean, you're going back to like when I was in 8th grade,
Mike
right? Yeah, like
it is great though. I have to say, I'm really enjoying it. I figured out like every month I get a new toy in there, and it keeps me. When you come over, I think you'll be impressed by all the different things.
I am impressed. I just want to do it for the content.
Well,
I think
the content's
it'll be
coming in time, but I got to get there. You know what I mean?
No, it will be fun. Why don't we start documenting now? We can do on a Sunday, right? You can invite CV, Justin Anthony Sanchez, and myself over. We get a nice workout in. We can fire up the grill.
We
what's up?
The biggest
Football
thing with
Sunday.
that content is figuring out timing, because Sundays are going to start being terrible.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like that is a thing that I'm trying to work, because I'm thinking names, right? Gym, weights, and tailgates.
Ooh.
Something like that, right?
Ooh.
Gym, weights, tailgates.
That's fire.
So we come, work out, grill out. You don't need to do that in the morning. You can do it at night, whatever it is. We got to figure out a time for that.
Gotcha.
the other caveat is that we're completely renovating the house, and we
Yeah.
just finalized everything yesterday, and it's going to start in 2 weeks.
We can hang out in the garage. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll just
It's
be
fine.
working out while
Yeah,
they're ripping
yeah,
shingles
exactly.
down. Just inhaling all the shingles.
Yeah,
And we probably have some mold in the basement, so like I
That's
open a
fine.
little window, but I feel like it's making me tougher.
Listen, I grew up in Mount
You know?
Vernon, New York, baby. There's plenty of mold.
There was a point to this, though. Yeah, it goes best progress, I would say, of the previous week is the air fryer's been tremendous.
We're just gonna clip you every
Air
week
fryers.
saying the air fryer.
Tremendous.
You're
dude,
getting air
tremendous.
fryer
If
deal.
you don't have one, I highly recommend it. There's 2 of us. I'm usually eating more than Dana does and more times. And to have now, I've just been doing half a bag of jasmine rice every meal.
Nice.
So I just split it in half. Then I do either a chicken, tilapia. I've been doing tuna, but I got to swap it out. And literally
Air frying the tuna,
air frying
That's good.
everything.
like
Sometimes
the
I eat
tuna
the
steaks.
tuna raw. Sometimes I eat
steaks?
the tuna steaks raw because it's from frozen. Technically, I think it's safe.
Ugh, what?
Hurts the stomach a little bit.
So you
I defrost it, cut it up, marinate it, poke bowl style.
what do you
and
always
I
say?
throw
You
it
have the
rice.
stomach of
I
a
guess stomach of
chihuahua
a
or
goat.
something? A cat?
Goat. Goats eat garbage, so
Thought it was a
stomach of
chihuahua.
goat. But removing the decision making has been. I'm making progress.
You thrive there. That's where you thrive.
When
Decisions
I
for
don't have to
Mike.
think, it's decisions. I'm just.
Should we put
so
decisions
gassed.
over discipline?
No, air fryer over decisions. Yeah, I want to do some more fun shirts and stuff. I for some reason I've been having this vision of Pumpin' Donuts, where it's like a Dunkin' Donuts shirt, but it says Pumpin' Donuts. They have lifting donuts, but pumping sounds more fun.
Pumping donuts.
We can send one to Pump Daddy.
Pump Daddy.
Did I tell you the air fryer one was like a Jordan?
How is Pump
but
Daddy
with a
doing?
fryer in there?
Pump Daddy's been putting content of him catching footballs.
Yeah, they
He's
dominate every year. I'm like, place him against some
he's older than us,
competition.
though,
We'll
right?
lock him up.
He's older than us.
Yes.
He
He's-
is
I don't
so
know how old he is.
athletic for his age.
I drive him crazy because every family event, I just talk his ear off, and I'm talking about all this stuff,
Yeah.
and every time I look worse and worse.
Yeah.
So
he
he's
should
like,
be our
what is
first
he doing?
sponsored athlete.
Pump Daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get him.
Right?
I
You think so?
got the inside track.
Yeah?
I'll bribe him a little bit. Bribe him a little bit like Boardwalk Empire. What do you want?
Oh my
But
god.
it's been good. Excited for the progress. Shout out Strength Cartel. Some of their gear is pretty sick.
Those are your boys.
I find myself using Southern California slang
Like what?
in the house. Like they say it's mandatory
Mandatory.
to
That's Mando.
to the dome. They take the pre-workout to the dome. It's
To the dome. Dry
Mando.
scoop?
Dead game. Mando.
Oh.
They just and I'm talking back to these people. You know?
It's lingo.
If
I like
they
that.
saw what was on the other side of the screen working out with them,
You
they'd
should
be
record
dying
this.
laughing.
I want to see this. CV, we need to set you up with a camera and just
They
go watch
but their
it.
person like Callie Muscle, you followed him before,
I thought you were
right?
talking about my daughter. That's where I named her after.
Callie Muscle.
Callie
yeah.
Muscle, you know?
They are so funny together. Like they're so sharp.
Callie Muscle is ridiculous.
They were working out and he kept saying you look like what are the peach bites?
The rings?
Yeah.
A peach ring?
Big Boy makes fun of everyone, but he also like hypes them up at the same time. So what he'll say, like if we worked out
Kind of like
together-
me and you.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're bigger, right? So you'd be like, "Ooh, that's a bad little dude right there." Like it's a backhand compliment. He's like, "That's a bad little dude, that little leprechaun pumping weights." He like makes fun of him, but then he hypes him
Hypes
up.
him up.
It's hilarious.
Wow.
So if you
That's
haven't
good.
checked out Strength Cartel, Big Boy, he's my idol.
Tailgates, New York football.
Oh,
So if those who don't know, Mike is a
Diehard Jets fan, unfortunately.
and I'm a Giant fan.
Converted.
Oh yeah,
I
this is
used to be a
funny.
Minnesota
This
fan.
is good because you got Justin Anthony Sanchez on your side, and then CV and I are both Giant fans.
Really? I didn't know you were a Giant fan.
So that's funny. You can't tell we're the bigger ones, Giant fans. Get it?
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Skinny Jeff
In
fan.
that case, I should be.
You guys caught an L, right?
Caught a nice out, but positivity, silver lining. Our years have been so bad in the past
Yep.
that him throwing 2 touchdowns, 1-0,
1-0.
Mando. See how they cut everything? See?
Yeah.
1 interception, and staying healthy while running for his life.
Yep.
I thought it was very positive. I
Yeah,
thought
see,
he made some good throws.
Jet fans, I feel like you guys are used to that. Like whenever I sit with
Yes.
Jet fans, like my uncle's a diehard Jet and Met fan.
Yeah.
Like he expects losses.
Yes.
Right. Whereas like
We expect
the Giant,
the worst.
Right. And even when you're winning, you're like,
Yes,
because
because they break your heart.
Exactly. So now, like the Giants, though, the past couple of years have been doing that to us New
Yeah.
Yorkers, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough.
They caught the Jets.
Sterling Shepard, I mean, good news, he's back.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry, he looked great. Saquon is back. He
Tough.
did not look so good, but
He squats.
I mean, his
See those
legs are
thighs?
ridiculous.
Woo.
Danny Jones, I'm confident in my guy, but I mean, we got to be able to hold the football, right? We have to be able to hold the football.
Do you think
I
you
did
can make
love.
him fumble? Sorry.
make him fumble. The dude fumbles more than anybody in the National Football League. He got 19 turnovers since 2019. The next one up is like 5.
Too much popcorn.
Yeah, that's good. Danny Popcorn Jones.
Danny Popcorn.
I like that. But no, so we caught the L. We have who do we have? CV Washington next week.
I interrupted you. What were you getting into? You're getting into something else. Daniel Jones fumbling, and then you were leading into something.
No, I just when it comes to
ball security,
just
no excuses.
Yes, turnovers. Right. He's number 1 in the league since 2019. But one thing I loved, so he got roughed up a couple times. It wasn't even that bad. I loved how the offensive line got
behind him.
That's
what you want to see
on the defense. But then I was listening to just stories of Daniel Jones, and in the offseason, he was actually taking the team, specifically the whole offense, to the lake and like having some good times with them, which builds that rapport. I did love how Coach took the accountability, for the loss, just saying that, us as coaches got to get it together, and then it comes to the players. But we can only be accountable for so long. We need W's, baby.
Yeah. There needs to be progress, else you lose everyone.
Bashing my face with a beer can on Sunday.
See, I don't take it too hard. Like my dad takes it like he gets depressed when they lose. Like I
don't get like that either. Yeah. But
it is tricky during busy season when the game's on and I'm like showing something and I'm like, hey, I have the game on in the house.
Trying to watch.
I'm showing a living room for like 10 minutes. I'm like, and the best part about this, it's built in. I'm like, don't leave. Right. But people are usually surprised, believe it or not. The majority of people are super cool about it. They'll walk in and say, what's the score of the game?
Yep.
So I do it even more so for clients now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, I think it'll be during this football season. It'll be good. I mean, it's probably exciting to,
It's good for normalcy.
See New York.
Like,
New York
shout
football.
out, Matt Piro threw a hell of a tailgate.
I wouldn't know.
He's a Panthers
I wasn't
fan.
invited.
Yeah, you definitely not invited. Panthers-Jets combo. It was one of the first times my dad actually stayed out for a Jet game at someone's house. I don't think he'll ever do it again, but I was very surprised. They had a good spread, mac and cheese. We had sausage, eggs. What I'm trying to do is, even when I cheat, is majority protein stuff, right? So if I'm eating bad, if I'm having like chili, I'm having two cheeseburgers with chili, or like I'm trying to double up on the protein.
On the protein, so at least you're getting it in.
Just so at least I'm building some mass. Yeah, massive bombs.
No, man, good stuff. So hopefully next week we can report back with some New York wins, right? I want the best for you.
I really do want the best for you. Some type of promotion, like if the Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know why I've been on Dunkin' Donuts lately.
Yeah,
Dunkin' Donuts.
Terrible.
If the Jets or the Giants win, they give a discount. Maybe if the Jets or Giants win, certain like
I wouldn't drink the coffee if they sponsored us. I wouldn't.
The point is, if the Jets or Giants win, we could do some type of promotion.
Okay, all right.
But
I got you.
Go ahead.
Baby update, quick. Not even really an update, but it was interesting to see. Yesterday actually was the first time. I mean, this will air on Monday. But so I guess if I'm speaking as it's Monday, then last week was the first day.
You just put my brain in a pretzel saying that.
Last week, right?
Yes.
Was the first day that Karina and I had to debate who was going to take off because we didn't have childcare.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was crazy because usually, we're so fortunate. The in-laws watch Cali, which is great. School of Dorian
Cali Muscle
is an incredible school.
Yeah.
So she was with me the whole day, but I envy the single parents that have to make decisions and put their kids in childcare and all that stuff. It was a quick realization for me that, wow, we have it really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an incredible day with my daughter, don't get me wrong, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But you really have to sit down as two adults and debate, okay, well, who's not going to go to work today?
Yeah.
Which was crazy. It doesn't happen often, but it was the first time.
And how did you guys figure that out? Were you like, I make more, you make less?
No. I mean, really what it
less?
comes down to is it's the beginning of the year for her.
Ah.
And I had, especially with, the storm, we spoke about that, how, our facility is looking. I was still able to take calls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were crazy because you're trying to run around with the baby.
She's just throwing your phone.
Yeah, talking to FEMA, talking to the insurance adjusters. But I got a really good team as well, so everybody was able to do what they needed to do.
Nice.
But yeah, it was wild because we never ran into that before in a whole year.
Yeah, we're doing once a week. We have someone coming over, and she's shout out Anna. But it's been hard for Dana to leave Livy because Livy she's more attached to Dana as far as like Dana leaves, she'll start crying versus Daddy's just floating around all the time.
Yep.
So she has fun, but like
right.
when I leave, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
So we're talking about I have to next week drop the baby off to Anna, which is just Anna coming to our house and we do the switch.
Gotcha.
So that should be interesting because Dana, I thought Livy was just having a ball, but come to find out she's been crying hysterically when Dana leaves, and that's got to be tough as a parent.
Ooh.
Anna sends us pictures of her like eating pasta like 10 minutes later, but it's just that like unknown for the 10 minutes on the drive to work. You're like, am I the worst parent ever?
Yeah.
You know? And they're talking now, which makes it harder because you know what they want.
Yep.
Like Livy's putting little words together. She'll say up, banana. She loves bananas.
Callie goes mo when she wants something.
Mo?
Like she wants more.
She's literally Callie
She wants
Muscle.
more. Right. Mo.
Yep, yep. That's what he does when he lifts the weight up. Yep, yep. Right, doesn't he?
Mo.
Yo, my man is huge. How does he get that big?
I don't know, but he's little. He's little. He's a big little dude.
Big little dude. Bad little dude.
He's short.
I love when he says that. And the voice. And the way he talks to you. Sorry, I'm going back to Big Boy. That's my guy. I got to get some strength. It's funny because their stuff is like, yeah. If I rolled in with a strength cartel shirt.
I got to be honest. When you were sitting on the episode, like on the YouTube clip with your straps,
Tough,
you look hard, boy.
Yeah. I just want to look like I lift a lot of weight. You know what I mean?
Arms look good.
Yeah.
I hear we have a Taylor update, and I'm not talking about the shirt Taylor here.
Yes. So last episode, if you didn't listen, go listen. We may or may not have a tenant that is of the supernatural realm.
Rent-free tenant.
Rent-free Taylor, we'll call her. We had a little experience, so we did some research. I was at Town Hall yesterday for like 5 hours doing some research on deeds, which is
ghosts?
On properties and business reports. But there you can look up like everything.
Ghosts
so
at Town Hall?
You can look up everything. Like death certificates, a bunch of stuff. Some stuff you probably didn't want to know. So, but long story short, I was like, I got to run this check to see if anyone died in our house. So it's diedinhouse.com. It's $12 a one-time search. As you see, he's getting uncomfortable. He was saying the supernatural he's not a fan of. And word is you're not supposed to mess with them. So maybe we should do a seance with like a Ouija board at the house.
Let's play Jumanji at the house.
Jumanji. Yeah. It's easy.
Movie reference?
Good
Yeah,
Good
my
reference.
guys.
So we did the search. 54 names came up of people who have been in that
Died
house.
in the house?
No, not died.
Oh.
So it's just names of people attached to the record. It shows if there was a meth lab. Thankfully, no. Any sex offenders, like a couple things, right? So I was looking through the names, and I was going kind of slow because I'm like, this would be wild. Through. Dana Pirelli, Mike Pirelli.
It's already updated with you guys?
Terry, yeah. Imagine if it had me as a dead tenant.
Wow.
Or dead a chat. That would be freaky. So I go through Terry. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I kind of wanted it to be. So I'm like, did she say Terry? Like maybe
now
she
her
said
name.
Terry.
Oh, okay.
Then I'm going through. I'm like, Turoko Yumiochi. And I'm like, was she Asian? And I'm like trying to like rationalize in my head. Nothing came out where there was any future, like nothing was positive about it. Like, I guess it was good.
What do you mean nothing was positive?
I wanted to see that Taylor lived there,
Gotcha.
so I'm not
so
crazy.
there is no Taylor.
Now I realize, like, when people see UFOs and stuff, they just really want to, like, have proof.
Yes.
Because they know what they saw. So I might be a UFO person.
This could be pre-Town Hall days.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Taylor might be.
The search goes back to 1980, so I may have to go in person.
Taylor's much older than that.
Go in person, like I'm friggin' from the 1800s. Go through the books that are dusty, hocus pocus that baby, and get some info. But the weird thing that did happen is me and Dana were sitting just watching Boardwalk Empire. If you haven't watched it, makes me want.
I gotta start.
Makes me want to be a mobster
so
bad.
Really
they're always
good?
in 3-piece suits. They look like they're on the Titanic. It's all strategy.
My favorite movie.
It is gory. But the strategy of it is just like, I want to run a business that way someday. Not a good guy, but very.
How many
interesting stuff.
seasons are there?
We're on season 2. Dana's seen everything.
Is this an old thing?
Yeah,
Old show?
Old. But it relates back to New York and Chicago.
Yeah, where does the boardwalk come in?
It's basically the beginning of the American mob. It talks about the oranges of every origins, and it shows like Al Capone, and it shows how they all expand and they take over New York and all that stuff. It's good. So anyway, I got sidetracked. So we're sitting watching that. And a huge 1.5 inch, maybe 2 inch grasshopper flies in. Like, don't know where it came from. Huge.
You sure it wasn't a praying mantis?
No, it wasn't.
You can't kill those, Mike.
I would have. No, I'm just kidding. Peter, don't come after me. So I grab a shoe, and I'm like, gonna kill it. And he's like, no, don't kill it. She looks up. It's a good luck charm, or good luck, a sign of good luck, or a sign of someone reincarnated or like a spirit in your house.
Wow.
I just got chills.
Did you let them watch?
So this what happened. Dana goes, let me cup it, 2 cups, and put it outside. So I'm like, oh, great.
Karina would never.
Yeah. She calm, cool, and collected. I'm screaming. She cups it, puts it outside, right? Let Petey out maybe a half an hour later.
Back in.
Open the door. Like this, my man right through. Back on the same spot in the mirror.
Wow. That's scary.
Twice. And I was like, this is weird.
What's his name?
Then we go to bed.
Terry?
I think it might be Taylor, just
Terry,
different form.
let's go
like
Terry and Taylor.
So, Ghost Saga continues. I heard that when you do renovations and you make a lot of noise, that the spirits awake and they want to see what's going on to their house. I think they hear me in the morning clanging weights.
They hear big boy.
And I'm waking them up.
They see this big little dude in the basement.
But I thought of this visual, like how funny is it? You know how like ghosts live in like really bad houses? Like maybe Taylor might be pissed in the beginning, but then when she sees the reno we take care of, she's gonna be like,
this is nice. This is nice.
What do you need? You need a hookup? You want to talk to someone in the afterlife?
But for people don't know, but for years I lived across the street from the cemetery.
Did you see any ghosts or no?
I didn't. No, never. Not once. But I'm not gonna lie. We had like 4 of Karina's titis come through. those are her aunts or aunts, however you say. Yeah,
it sounds weird.
They came through with the holy water, to tackle the brujeria.
What's it called?
Brujeria.
Brujeria.
Yeah, like a bruja is like a ghost thing in Spanish.
Jesus.
So what? A witch. Thank you, CV.
No, see, I don't mess with witches.
Yeah, no. So they came to
ghosts I can hang
with,
witches I cannot.
They attacked the bruja. So there was never any problems in there. And they actually said, because one of her titis has a vision when it comes to that. So she knows like a lot of spirits and things like that. Yeah. And she said, no, this is good. Everybody who's in this house is a good spirit.
It's good spirit.
Yeah.
Jesus
so,
Christ.
But yeah, we lived across the street from the cemetery for 5 years.
You're gonna get an invite to like a house party, and I'm like, make sure you bring all your titis.
Bring the titis.
Yeah.
shout out all Karina's titis.
Yeah, shout out Karina's titis. Just sounds weird.
Yeah.
This episode's gonna get flagged. Like, shocking content. So that's the ghost stuff.
Wow.
So I'm really excited to start some reno because we're gonna be ripping up like the majority of the house. We're getting to the bottom of it. We're gonna get to the bottom. I might see like Taylor was here.
Taylor was here.
I'm gonna get on my maybe blacklight it.
You know what you're gonna find? You got to look on the walls. You're gonna see. And I've been wanting to do it with Callie.
Like a hand mark.
Mark her growth. You know, like you take a pen and you.
Oh my God, of Taylor.
Imagine it says
stops.
Taylor. Yeah.
Dude, I'm getting shivers.
Oh, man.
I actually kind of like that stuff because it's kind of cool. It's like
as long as it's good and it doesn't have a bad experience, you know.
Like, until then,
yeah.
Dana keeps saying too. She's like, the spirit's not after me; it's after you.
I don't know. Why me? Halloween coming around. Here we got some nice ghost hoodies that are going to drop soon too.
Ghost. We might rename them Taylor hoodies, like Taylor eggs and ham.
Yes.
Yeah, they're nice. They're coming in. We didn't even show them yet because I want to get them and wear them so we can just like drop them and see if people ask about them. You know?
Yeah, I saw you ordered. You didn't order one for me.
Well, I didn't know if you were gonna like it. I didn't know if you liked
loved
the vibe.
I loved it. I think you're
loud.
the designer.
You like loud, right?
I love loud.
Yeah.
I mean, look
Couldn't
at me.
tell.
Loud, baby. Yeah.
Anyway, any other topics you want to touch on? Because I got a couple thoughts in my head.
I mean, if you want to go thoughts, I have an awesome recommendation for you.
Oh, you want to go recce?
We could.
What do you got there? More cigars?
You want to know? Well, so you want me to get into it?
I would love
sure.
to get
All right.
into it.
So I've been, slowly introducing the cigar game to the podcast, right? Like slowly.
Slowly would be. You smoke a cigar pretty
frequently.
Pretty frequently.
Well, yeah, but it's not like I've only done like a couple of recommendations on cigars, right?
I want more of it, if anything.
But first let me get my notes here. But let me pop this bad boy open.
Am I maddening to do a podcast with? I've interrupted you.
You what?
Like 40 times.
It's all good. CV hates it. Because
I know. Sorry, CV.
So this is my little travel door. It's called. It's waterproof. It's crush proof. All that. But anyway, these are cigar guillotines. They're called. It's called a guillotine.
It sounds tougher than cutters
for sure, right? So this is the plastic one. You can keep that there. Yeah. But then this is actually my recommendation, and I have some notes on it. So I just want to make sure I hit all of the points here. But this is the Cigar with an X. XI2 is the version, right? Guillotine cutter for cigars. It's a 54 ring gauge is the size. But the point of this is a lot of people get into the cigar game not really knowing how to cut a cigar and the importance behind cutting a cigar. This will actually put a lot of respect on your name, Mr. Pirelli, if you start walking around with one of these bad boys. And they're not even too expensive. But really, we're going to do a show and tell because I'm going to show you the difference between this cigar guillotine and then the plastic ones that you typically use. Okay. Right. So the Cigar XI2, here's some of the features. It's got the teardrop design. It's lightweight and an aluminum body. Go ahead, ask your question.
I think people are wondering: is there an advantage to the shape? Is it easier to?
Well, I'm gonna explain it because this is actually what it is. It's the highest quality steel that you can possibly buy. It's whatever the 440, but the Rockwell rating is a 57. The sharpest knife that you can physically buy is that, right? get any sharper than that, and that's on this guillotine. The biggest difference between the plastic guillotines and this one here is the spring-loaded action on it.
It makes me nervous.
Right, and that's I think the teardrop. So it gets to a certain point that when you do close it, it actually springs in and closes itself, and it's a clean cut every single time.
Got it.
We are actually going to do a show and tell here, Mike. I'm going to have you do it, and I want you to speak. I'm serious. You're going to speak on the experience. But the way to actually cut a cigar, a lot of people don't know. All you have to do is follow the actual wrapping on the leaf, it's called, and you'll see a very clear line at the top of the cigar. A lot of people just cut cigars. We really should be capping our cigars, right? Taking the cap off of them versus physically cutting them.
So if you see someone cut a cigar in half, which I've done,
why would you do that?
Like, because
this will cut a cigar
we only had
clean
one
in half, though.
And Frank, yeah. So like Frank wanted one, I had one. I just cut it in half. We both smoked a half.
Okay,
right?
yeah, that's tough.
Is that okay or no?
Well, it's different because cigars run in thirds, right? So each third of the cigar has a different flavor profile.
I gave him the worst third.
So you have your first third, second third, and then the final third. Each one has different flavor notes and stuff like that. This is a phenomenal gift, right? And you can actually catch it on Amazon.com. Visit the Zycar store, again, Xikar store. They have it for an incredible price. These things go for $65 plus. You can get it for $44 on Amazon. They have it in multiple colors. Whereas, you go to a cigar lounge and you could buy one of these little plastic ones and they're like $6-7.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get them for free, but you're going to see the actual physical difference. So hold on. I'm going to get a plate here.
Yep.
Pop that bad boy open. Pull the cigar without the label on it because I don't want to embarrass any brands.
Good ones.
Yeah. So
Take
I'm gonna let Mike
it in first.
Yeah, it's actually a nice cigar, but one that I'm willing to let you chop.
I don't know how you smoke these in the morning. Like that's a man move.
That's a man move.
I can't do that.
So I want you to cut it with this plastic one first. Cut a very small piece of the end.
So it's where it curves.
So yeah, if you follow the actual leaf itself, you want to cut on that very first line.
I'm coming with this crap.
Yeah, well you're gonna cut with that one, and then I'm gonna give you the Zycar. Oh, actually, you want to do this one first?
Yeah. What am I going to cut it twice?
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's about it going through the
I've
actual.
done one of these.
But you're going to do it again.
This makes me nervous. This is.
And again, a nice clean squeeze on it, but you're going to see just how clean. And I want you to feel it. Be honest with the listeners. When
so
you
where
do
it curves, right?
Yep.
Ooh, very smooth.
How was that?
Lock spring or the spring loaded close at the end is big because that's where I always screw up and then it gets.
That was a perfect cut. Did you see how the cap just kind of fell off that right there?
No fraying either.
Right. So now take the
the clutch. Who's clutch? Tell me I'm clutch. You didn't think I was going to do that right?
I did. Well, you can't really mess it up.
You just Mr. Miyagi'd me.
What? I'm telling you, man. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Take the plastic one now.
This one.
Cut a little more off the cigar.
No, that was a perfect cut.
It was perfect.
You don't throw paint on the Mona Lisa after you cut
I want you to feel and explain the actual difference. You're good at explaining things, so I want you to see is there a.
Well, it's hard.
Did you miss?
I cut it perfect.
No, it's fine. You could take some off of it.
Oh wow! I got to get my grip strength up. What is it, a trick cigar?
No,
that was pretty good.
No, so explain that. What just happened?
You got to do like hand workouts to get it past that. If you do it one hand, like I've done it too sometimes, where you like guide it.
Yep.
But if you do it one hand, there's no stable. It's not stable.
Right.
This one, the most important cut is at part of the cut is at the end.
Yeah.
And it gives you that assistance.
Yep.
Which you wouldn't think is a big deal.
Right.
But seeing how it like frayed from that one is pretty.
And now, do you want to do one more cut with the other guillotine?
Listen, I'm just going to be cutting this bad boy down.
That's fine.
No.
It doesn't matter. But I want you to
smoke
really
this one today.
Yeah, why not? Pull it down, unlock it.
Wait,
Michael.
Wow, it has a lock.
Yeah, safety lock.
Okay, and then I hit it. Oh,
there you go. So it's
is it like
spraying
open? Is it like a lighter where like if someone has a cigar and you just
toss it to him,
look like a badass.
Snaps. So here he goes again. He's gonna just cut it again so you guys can see.
It's hard having this microphone in the way. I have no peripheral.
Yep. And again, nice clean cut, nice and firm. Bang. Is there a big difference?
Big difference. I'll hold on to this. And then
guys, so look, a lot of you have reached out just on cigar recommendations, right? And
talk to him, Dave.
I actually appreciate it. So keep that coming. But I'm telling you right now, gift this Zycar XI2. You can even get the version 1 because the steel is the same. It's just a little bit difference in the actual body of it, but the steel blades are exactly the same. It is a game changer for people who smoke cigars. Am I lying?
It's game changer. I think we need to do more cigar stuff.
Right, but like
$44,
right? $44, you have one cutter that you don't need anything. That was actually gifted to me by my brother-in-law Vic. So shout out my brother-in-law Vic. Thank you, my brother. I also have it in black, just so I don't overuse it in any way. But the best part about this, lifetime warranty.
It's nice.
It's a business that backs their stuff.
So if it breaks, send it in to replace it.
Almost impossible, but also very dangerous to keep around.
Keep it away from the kids.
Yeah, but I wanted you to see physically the difference in the actual cuts.
It was nice. That was I like how you
like that.
You gave me the Mr. Miyagi. You're like, you could do it, and then I was just smooth.
Listen, Justin Anthony Sanchez, can you take this beautiful plate away from us?
But to specify, my skill level on cigar cutting is I'm not very confident, and that was a very confident cut.
Where's my cigar cutter, Michael?
Right here.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was good.
Yeah, so that's the recce. Figured you'd enjoy it.
I like it.
Puts a lot of respect on the cigar name.
That's gonna be a great clip.
You walk in somewhere with that, they're like, he smokes cigars.
Yeah, I always ask clients like, do you smoke cigars? And then I always use you. I'm
and
like,
if you pull that thing out, imagine if you go to cut some
branded,
cigar,
maybe it's branded. Who knows? They'll hold on to it forever. Yep. It's actually a good idea. So I'm current events this week,
sir.
Couple current events caught my eye. The one for whatever reason lately that's really catching my eye is technology. We think that the VR stuff, the embedded technology like in your eyes, brain, glasses is so far out. I saw 2 headlines. Facebook released the glasses.
Yes. What do they do exactly?
They basically it's like Google Glasses. You have all of your apps and things within Facebook, I believe, and then you can record.
I thought you take pictures.
Remember Snapchat had?
I thought you take pictures and call.
And you could call, you
Accept
can answer,
calls.
but it has some type of app capability.
That's crazy.
They'll roll out.
Yep.
So that's one thing. Then while I'm in that wormhole, which is wild, I'm going to ask you if you'll get those. They have Neuralink just passed a first test with monkeys. They put your boy, what the hell is his name? Elon Musk. While he's going to space, while he's making Teslas, my man also has a startup.
Wait, he went to space too?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure he's been.
Oh yeah, probably. Imagine guys, what are you doing this weekend? Going
still
to space?
There. Yeah. I'm hanging in space. So he had 2 monkeys playing a video game with their brains.
Musk had 2 monkeys.
2 monkeys playing a video game with this thing called Neuralink.
Okay.
So it passed whatever. I don't know what kind of. Imagine 2 monkeys playing pong. Like, this is fun. Like, I don't. What game were they playing? Shit like that. Pardon my friend. I need more details.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
that's a good one, CV. Good stuff.
I need more details. Like when they test, testing on animals, it's hard to think about. It's sad. But what are they saying? All right, we're gonna start you off Madden 99.
Right.
You can be Mike Vick.
It is kind of amazing to think about that.
Wild.
They just sat there. Did they have to strap them down?
I need to get more details because
they just sat there playing video games.
The important part,
the visual of this.
We're the type where news comes on, we get captivated on the wrong part.
Thinking about part. Actual monkeys sitting there looking at a screen. Oh, look. See,
dude, what were they playing?
Justin just pulled it up. Wow, that's incredible.
So it passed. So now they're going to start tests on people.
Wow. Okay.
My question to you is if, like an iPhone 13, a Neuralink, not even the first version, the second version comes out, are you getting it?
What exactly is it? I'm still
It's
confused.
mind control of some sort, where you can manage your assets.
Oh, so they sat the monkeys down to then
play a game, but it was in their.
They were already controlling.
It's a thing in their head that gets implanted that then they control a video game.
This is bizarre.
So think about you could be driving or working right now. It's here, and you just or make a call and be like, all right, call Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I need to see some more research on that, right? But again, if it becomes a norm, I'm sure, again, look at all the technology now. I mean, even 20 years ago, the technology was not even close to where it is. So if that becomes the norm, I'm sure I would. But
if I can have Big Boy just show up in front of me with a Neuralink, I'm down. But in all seriousness, the glasses, that stuff's super interesting because if you think about it, we're in the reality layer. Once the virtual layer gets established, it's going to be like a land grab. It's there's a virtual layer of Greenwich.
Yep.
All these companies can put up digital billboards in this layer, this Facebook layer, whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden, you put them on, all of a sudden you're seeing all these ads. You look at a restaurant and it shows you a video, tell Mike saying, of
everything.
one of their food items.
Yep.
You look over here and it's Nike and it says 60% off sale, but they don't physically have to change anything. That's wild.
The only thing I don't like about this whole, I guess, technological day and age is
because you're a physical specimen. That's why.
But the lack of human interaction that then becomes a result of that.
My argument would be it's going to create more human interaction because I'm going to walk by you and say, oh, he is No Snooze. There's like a thing on here. He likes to work out. He likes cigars, whatever it is. If I look up your Facebook profile and immediately get info on you, I'm like, wow, I'm a big cigar guy. Let me go connect with this dude. I think there's an opportunity where people will be more interactive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does.
I hope,
different perspective on it, but yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's wild.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's going to change everything.
Nuts. That's good stuff.
Like, say you're like, oh, let's go watch. Sporting events are going to be sick. Like, let's go to the Giant game, and you just VR it in, and you're front row.
See, is that cool, though?
Is that cool?
Like, I still think being there at the game is different in person than putting a pair of glasses on and me thinking that I'm in the front row.
But if you can't go to the game, you get home from work from a long day, and you're like, damn, let me hop in. Basketball, right?
Yeah.
And you see LeBron in person, digitally, you're sitting courtside. Some people never get that opportunity. And maybe you're not going to spend $40K on a seat, but maybe you'll spend $1,000.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that side of things definitely makes sense. But I don't know. I feel like I'm an old school dude when it comes to certain things. I'm a little archaic.
Next week I'm gonna be walking with the glasses and be like,
just having your Tesla pull up for you.
They're gonna have like a shell of me that's like big boy.
This
tats.
Isn't really Mike.
Digital tats.
That would be fire for you.
I'm just.
You would be covered.
Yeah,
if you could take them
everything, eyes, head. I'd shave my head bald. It's pretty interesting. Interesting stuff. But that's my current event is just technology.
It's a good one, man. I actually want to do some more research on it now.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole, and it's going to make you nervous.
Yeah, oh for sure.
Because in reality, like maybe real estate agents aren't even a thing anymore. Like people can just go into houses digitally.
Yep.
And then so it's
virtual agents.
You gotta stay on the top of this stuff.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be wild.
No, you're right. You definitely have a point there.
We wanted to take a quick second to let you guys know that we partnered with our good friends over at Orgain.com. We're happy to offer our listeners 30% off by entering the code NoSnooze30. Again, that's NoSnooze30 for 30% off your first order. If you're on the market for a new protein powder, nutritional shake, protein bar, or Mike's favorite, collagen peptides, Orgain is your one-stop shop. As all of you know, my Crohn's disease is currently in remission, and the only protein I use is from Orgain. My personal favorites are the chocolate peanut butter and the vanilla bean. With the code, you can try a 2-pound tub for under $20. Talk about not snoozing. Go get yours today. Now, back to the epi.
All right, so we want to get into 3 questions. And again, if you guys have any questions, you can hit us in the DM. For some reason, you guys like DMing my personal page. I don't know if they think Mike is a bully or something of some sort. But people ask a lot of specific questions. And I'm like, why didn't you? Because one specifically came in and said, save it for the podcast. I'm like, why didn't you DM the podcast?
Yeah. I think I'm the heel. I think I'm in the heel of the brand, which I like. I like it. I don't get to be like the dangerous one,
The dangerous
You're the approachable one. They're like, I don't want to talk to Mike.
It must be the beard on you.
Yes. Big, intimidating beard.
But yeah, you can DM us at No Snooze Podcast or at NoSnoozePodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
Right.
Or go to the No Snooze shop, buy something, and then respond to that email with the question.
Or if you happen to be lucky enough to have our numbers, they're hot commodities these days, shoot us a text, because I actually pulled one of those from a text message as well.
Very nice.
Thought it'd be a better piece to, have CV actually read them to us.
I like it. I've been dying to hear his voice. I haven't heard it in a while.
I know. He's ghosted us.
Late
that
night.
word has a lot of importance these days.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, 3 questions. We'll start doing these pretty frequently. Gives us good content.
Yeah, reactions and stuff.
Yeah. CV, you're up, kid.
Nope. Here we go.
He goes, cool.
Now I'm live.
Welcome back, my brother.
Welcome.
I
I do have that.
Do you?
Oh yeah, and just to be clear, I know in the past we've done actual names, locations of people. We're just gonna take that out. So if you want to submit a question and you want to, there's no name or anything attached to it. So, CV number 1.
All right. Question number 1. Gotta get my warm up on here. Is it better to take a rest day when you're sore after a workout, or work out the next day through the pain? Also, if you take the rest day, what is the best thing to eat during the day, or do you have a cheat day?
Got you.
questions.
I know. Yeah. So the
That's
first
actually
part.
me who submitted that.
So let me touch on the first part. And can you actually say the first part again?
Is it better
Yep.
to take a rest day when you're sore after a workout or work out the next day through the pain?
Yeah. So that again. These are all opinions. Like we're not giving, doctoral advice here. That's a good word, right?
Doctoral.
Not giving you guys advice. Really, for me, it comes down to my schedule needs.
Yeah.
For you to be sore after a workout, that's not a bad thing. But really, that's you breaking down the lactic acid in the muscles, and that's creating soreness. So I wouldn't tell you just to take off unless the soreness is causing not allowing you to be fully functional the next day.
How do you prevent soreness though? Like, say is there a way to
So you can't fully prevent soreness. It's actually good to be sore here and there. If you're doing the same exact thing, obviously, I don't believe things get easier. I believe you get stronger. But clearly, if you're doing the same workout over and over again, your body is going to become accustomed. So it's always good to switch it up. I would say you don't need to necessarily take a rest day the day after you're extremely sore unless it's going to affect the actual muscle group and the performance of the next workout, right? Like if you're
you split. So
if
do you do splits or you do full body?
Yeah, I do a lot of full body stuff now, to be honest, because it
I went back to bro splits,
which is good because I'll do that too.
Big fan.
Honestly, I work in like 8-week cycles pretty much. I see I see my body getting to a certain place, feeling how, and I'm speaking physically, I'll feel certain joints kind of get tight, and then I'll say, okay, you know what? Let me switch it up here.
Do you ever look at your body and be like, I need more tension on this part?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And do you adjust on that?
It's
like
my arms,
visual?
but they're
No,
still
but,
shrivelly. But
yeah, because I've been looking at my shoulders, and I'm like, where are your shoulders?
Where are your shoulders? But yeah, personal preference for sure. But I would advise if you're sore on one specific body part, don't overdo it then the next day, if that makes sense.
But then he rolled that into or she about cheating the next day.
It was a she.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
About cheating? Like, I feel like you're rationalizing, but part of me does think like if you're not going to work out and it's planned and you can plan it in, but then you're not having a cheat meal for another 5 days, whatever it is. It's all about like tricking yourself to figure out that you're making the decision. It's not being imposed on you. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'll speak scientifically on that piece because I agree with you. There's days that I have rest days that become my cheat days.
Yeah.
But the reality is if you're extremely sore from a workout and you take a rest day, you should actually be consuming things that are going to help the soreness, right? You should be completely hydrating yourself the next day. A lot of even carbohydrates will help with the actual soreness.
Love those.
Tough if you're not if you don't really eat carbs during the week. Like, I don't really
eat any carbs, huh?
I mean, Oreos,
All these bodybuilders and stuff, they just
hammer carbs.
Rice.
Well, I do it because of my Crohn's disease.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like
but you would
I don't really know. I had to build my sense of bodybuilding and performance style based on my needs. You know what I mean? Because if I do carb cycle, I feel that bloat, and then that bloat leads to the remnants of the actual Crohn's disease, and it's called flare-ups for me.
I do feel bloated now eating more, but I feel like my body has to get accustomed to eating like I used to eat.
Yep.
Because I used to be heavy on the just everything,
Yep.
but I also did low carb, which really worked, but it's not sustainable for me.
For
at
you,
least.
yeah. No, I get that.
I got no energy.
On a day that you're actually sore, one thing you should be consuming is amino acids, right?
Do you take them mid-workout at all or no?
That to me,
I'm taking all the drugs.
No. I take them, but
Okay.
it doesn't matter when I take them. Like if I happen to have it and I want to have it during the workout, cool. If not, I'll throw it in the protein shake after.
Do you have creatine during your workout?
Creatine is in my pre-workout.
Oh, it is. See, mine I don't think it has
C4.
any. Creatine's non-ghost.
Oh, I don't know.
So or I'm doubling up on
but
it.
but also my creatinine levels, right? Creatine comes from creatinine.
I've been creatinine up.
comes from steak.
Yeah, which I don't need a ton of.
Oh, me neither.
The body made by fish.
Yeah, me neither. So I hope that answers the question. Does that bring
That
some...
was good.
Yeah?
I actually enjoy these segments, and I like when you take the lead because it leads to more questions. Where I'm always curious, and obviously you're an open book with me.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
love
not...
asking about it. But it is interesting to like hear it from your perspective, and I'm looking forward to hopefully this all sticking for me.
Yeah,
and we can show two different angles.
Yeah,
because you have a very specific style.
Well, you teach me a lot.
I'm trying.
You always do.
I'm trying. I'm trying to be people's guinea pig. Where they're like, Mike does this, but he also can, none of it works if I can't get to that level.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I got you, but it's also
it's all BS unless you get there.
CV, you heard that click? I don't know if that meant something.
That means Mike, good point.
Yeah. That was like Ching. No, well said. I agree.
That was a good
think,
question.
You have to be willing to learn from really everybody.
Yeah.
CV, what do we got?
All right. Question number 2. How do you get a team to buy into your personal vision if you're a manager or you have a side project you want to bring people into?
Oh, I love this question.
That's good.
So, I mean, this must be a specific situation. You want to start on it?
Yeah, I'll dive in.
Because it doesn't matter if you're a manager or not.
Yeah.
We both have perspectives. Like I have perspective before I was in, the position that I'm in. A
simple answer, at least for me, is, and how I think about everything, any endeavor I take on, is I personally think that I try to just start doing stuff, because I think action creates more action, which creates people seeing what you're trying to do. And even if you're communicating what you want to do, but you're not doing it, it's harder to demonstrate what you want to do.
Bingo.
So even if you're doing something and it's like 50% wrong, at least it's 50% of the vision, and then you keep refining it. So like the renovation on the bar, like I definitely don't have the pieces ready or the money to like do all of it.
Yep.
But if you put out that like we did, you put out that first episode, then you could retool it, you can change it up, and then you can figure out the direction.
Yeah.
But you can't sail a sailboat on the beach. You got to get in the water.
Ooh.
Is that?
Yeah. No, that's
like
good.
That one? I like visuals.
I would definitely agree. So that, I mean, in a grand scheme of things, it comes down to personal leadership. I don't know how you can ever expect somebody else to buy into a vision that you're not physically living yourself or actually doing. And by physically, I mean taking action on it.
Yeah.
So that's by far the first thing. You need to be living whatever your vision is, because if not, then you're just out here saying things and not doing it. I'll speak on, my actual business, like my full-time business. I think this year taught me a ton through a pandemic. Trust is by far the most important thing. And you have to be able, if you are a manager of some sort, be able to show genuine concern for the people that, may be underneath you. I remember the very first thing that we hammered home as commissioners, when everybody was going through the pandemic, specifically at work, was like, we are going to protect every single one of you, right? Like, because the first thing that comes up in local government is obviously budget cuts when you're going through a global pandemic.
Security.
Like that. Yeah. So it was making sure that they believed in us, that we were actually, we had a team of 3 commissioners. We were willing to reduce 1 commissioner. So one of us actually getting fired before we would give up somebody else's full-time job. Wow. The team knew that. We did calls over and over and over again, just to make sure that we were, building that rapport. Also, I'll say on a level where it's not a global pandemic, the way you build trust with employees is by engaging with them, right? You have to engage with them. If you can't do it daily, like I can't do it daily every single day. Sometimes it has to be weekly, but it always has to be monthly. It has to be a one-on-one. I have to show genuine concern for what it is that they're doing. Then at the same time, my vision isn't the vision. We have to create the best vision possible, and the best decision has to come from a collaborative effort, right? So when you say your vision, you got to be careful, because that's like selfish leadership.
Yeah.
And then on the side project, like, I know Mike hates, the term side project here, because it's not a side project anymore. But my thought was, yes, I had a vision of what this was going to be, which is exactly what it is right now. But it had to be fun for us to do, right? Like, that had to be something where you have to reap benefits as individuals joining that process. Because if not, then you're not going to buy into it.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Especially when it's for no money, like when you're just doing stuff to try to establish. You have to communicate to whoever your partners are what they benefit out of it, and you kind of have to explain everything.
Right.
So that, especially when there's no money involved.
Yeah. 100%.
Other than monetary, it's difficult to see the vision of like, yeah, well, if I do this, I'm going to learn these skills, and then I'll be able to translate into this personal project or whatever it is. So it's a very good point. Well said. Deputy Dave in the house.
That answered it, right? Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. And then final one.
I like how all of our answers, we right after, like, yeah, that was good. That was good. We compliment ourselves right after.
That was good.
Nice. Plus.
But what's good about these is we literally will see them right before. Like, I made sure I pulled these right when I sent them to you.
I didn't even look at your text. I just saw the last part.
And you were like, let's stay away from that one.
All right. This one's long, so.
Mike, are you taking steroids?
This one's long?
Yeah, for me, for the reading part.
I really got to listen. This is hard for me.
I always hear you guys and many others I look to for influence talk about the one day at a time approach. I feel like I understand it, but can't master it, and I end up giving in. Specifically, with work, I am in sales, and I've been in the same salary bracket for years, looking to break the cycle. Any tips?
You did sales for a while too, right?
Still, I do it every day. That's my
yeah,
job.
That's true. Good point. Good question, by the way, and thank you
Very
for the
good question.
vulnerability. I mean, being honest.
Yeah. The whole like bracket thing, I think you can have a sideways couple of years, but if it's not, for example, improving, like you worked less and made the same, or there was some type of improvement of the lifestyle, or you foresee you're learning the tactics that are going to get you to the next, I think you need to reevaluate what you're doing and if it's the right path. But a lot of people leave stuff too soon and don't reap the benefits of relationships. And like there is definitely humps. And if you leave before you get over that hump, you're never going to even see if you could have. But you have to be realistic. Like if you're not getting up and hungry every day to get in there and try to take a at bat, it's like then maybe you got to reevaluate, because you're not, especially in a sales job, you can't go through the motions, because then you don't make money.
Then you end up hating it. Like that's funny. My first thought was you have to really enjoy what you're doing, because then you'll be fired up. For me, that one day at a time approach really resonates. One, that's how I live my life every day now. But that actually started like almost 12 years ago now, when I created one of the county's first Be Fit One Day at a Time initiatives. That's what it was called, because I wanted it to, I had began the personal development journey, really just stepping foot in it, but it was only in like fitness that I was applying this mindset to. And I wanted to create a physical workout boot camp for individuals that were 600 pounds or somebody who was extremely fit, just looking to get a good workout in, right? So I was able to create this thing to where, yes, you can provide exercises and you can modify exercises. So literally, somebody who's super overweight and somebody who's super fit can actually be doing different modifications, right? Like a push-up. You can do them, modified on your knees, or you could be doing them with claps and stuff. So I created it based off of that. But the mindset of one day at a time was like, look, if you are overweight, you get overwhelmed by looking at the extreme goal of 50, 100 pounds down. So it becomes down, it really boils down to the daily action, right? And if you just come to this boot camp every day, you won the day, and eventually you will reach your goal. So that's for me where it really started. I can tell you in sales, one of the first things you need to do is have a plan. Like if you don't have a strategic plan in place for your daily actions, you're going to remain in the same salary bracket. For example, I remember when I was actually doing sales and I had to create lists every day of who I was going to call, right? And if I didn't call X amount of people, I wasn't going to make progress. So literally for you in sales, my question would be, you're at the same salary bracket. You've been there for a couple of years now, but what are you going to do to change it? Something I would do is reevaluate my strategy. You need to be taking 10 potential clients, or 10, I don't know what exactly you are doing in sales, making those 10 phone calls every single day. I would do that for a year, literally 1 year, right? And think about the compound interest of those calls every single day. If after a year you're still in that salary bracket, I would then go with what you're saying. Like, you probably don't really enjoy it, but are you willing to put that dirty work in for another year?
Dirty work.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not. But like, how many leads would you have after those 10 calls every day?
I'll play devil's advocate. I think you can also trick yourself to enjoy the process more. So, for example, like no one likes the cold call, or the majority of people don't.
Yeah.
So is there another way? Can you join a cigar bar? Can you join a bunch of gyms? Can you do something that will help you network that you enjoy?
Yep.
So you're encouraged to get out there, but you make a rule to yourself, like, if I go to the gym, I just got to talk to one random person, 2 random people, whatever, and build up to kind of. So like for me, a lot of it's been, I like one man-to-man combat. Like I like meeting people in person, talking to them, bullshitting. So I created this avenue, which is the food show, to do that hyper locally in my town. And it's been super beneficial. And it's like, yes, I could call 5 random people and make the same contact, but by going in there, adding value, promoting their business, they'll always remember me.
Right.
So like, you can trick yourself, but you just got to be super strategic about it. I don't know what business he's in. So that's,
right.
I mean, if someone in the future questions, if you give us a specific type of sales, we can try to give you some like more.
Yep. I remember this one lesson.
Can
you take your phone out though? Yeah. Get your calculator.
Uh-oh.
Somebody told me this, and it was like mind blowing after. But like, you know, you hear six figures, $100,000, right? And Justin, you should definitely tune into this. $100,000 sounds like a lot of money, right? Very simple, one day at a time approach. Take $100,000, divide it by 365, which is the days in a year.
Hold on.
What? Yeah, divide it.
Yep, 273. Oh, Justin's doing it?
$273.97.
Rounded up, 274.
Right? So $274 per day is very attainable to look at, right? Like you can literally go almost anywhere and make $275. You can mow people's lawns and make $275 if you wanted to. You know what I mean? $100,000 really isn't a lot of money if you look at it from a day-to-day approach. The hard part of that $274 is doing that then every day, right? But it's a good way to look at really large things, take it down to something that, you know what, at the end of the day, you spend $275 on a purchase sometimes. Yeah. You know, it could be a really expensive dinner. That could be a flight one way. It's not a lot of money, but the $100,000 sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get, I mean, I'm just speculating, but get caught in certain brackets and certain mindsets where like it sounds like a lot of money, but once you break it down like that, or you don't give it respect, I mean, it's a bad way to say it, but you don't respect it anymore, and you're just like, I'm better than that type of thing. It just becomes like a habit. It's you can break through that mental block. Like I personally had a bunch of mental blocks through my whole process of real estate, and when I got to a certain price bracket for like houses, I was like, I don't know if I should be here. And then as you do them, you get more confident in that bracket, and all of a sudden it becomes normal. And then you get another one, you're like, this is sketchy. Like we're way up, and then you break through that one. So it's like you just got to keep swinging and learning, and just be confident that you'll figure it out. But you got to stay in the game. You can't remove yourself from the game else you never figure it out. This is kind of on the same topic. Something I've been thinking about a lot lately is it's all relative, right? Like people get overwhelmed by numbers. So it's like, all right, this house is, say, $1 million. So that's a ton of money, right? But how much do I have to put down?
Right.
Do I put down 5%? I could put down 5%. If I put down 5%, what's this number? So like just by touching it and exploring it, it becomes more real. You say this all the time, but it becomes more real. And then once it becomes more real, then it's like, I mean, we can do it. Should we do it? Maybe not yet, but it becomes more attainable. So the more you make things more attainable and break it down, like you're saying, the easier it is to break through it. It is hard though. Like when you get comfortable, there's this whole lifestyle inflation argument where your means and your comfort rises up to what you're making, so that to get through to that next level, you're drowning yourself before you can push through. Because you're just giving yourself too much BS that you have to deal with, where you can't focus on what was making you money. So like that's something that our trick was to buy another property, because it forces us. We've gotten really loosey-goosey with going out, going to properties, marketing, all this stuff. It now, starting another reno, it forces you to be like, all right, let's reset. Do we need this? No. Do we need that? No. And then you recalibrate, and then you try to push to the next level. But I can see how, like, if you don't have this something you're going towards, you just get swept up in the expenses, and it's like, I'm never going to get past it because I'm too busy trying to figure out how just to survive. You know?
No, that's spot on. And it kind of hit home, because I remember when this is a personal relationship thing, Mike's favorite. But, you know, I had a conversation with my wife prior to when she was my wife. But there was a situation where we were like, okay, do we break up? Like, do we go our separate ways after, you know, probably, 5-6 years together or whatever? Because it probably would have been easier at that time to split. My wife, I remember her saying, I see potential in you, and I'm not going to let somebody else reap the benefits of when you do get your SHIT together.
It's pretty funny.
Right? So she was willing to endure the tough time of whatever it was that we were going through, just arguing every day, not being on the same page, because she knew that in the long run, I'd be, you know, getting better. And I remember her saying, I'm not going to let anybody else reap the benefits of where you're at now.
It's pretty good.
You know? And then on the manifestation piece, right? The other day was in my property, at my house where I live, and I saw my pool house, and I saw my pool. I know exactly where it is.
I'm excited for that.
I know exactly where it's going. I still have to figure out the financial piece of it, because it's it's now a big project, right? I told you it was $60,000 to just put an in-ground pool in, and that's just a pool in the ground.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So now I have to backtrack, but I saw it and I walked around exactly where it's going to be and how it's going to be shaped and the look of it and the size of it and the color of it, the tile, the everything.
So I love it. I know in the past I said just do it, but here's my question. Could you get something that then could pay for that pool?
Well, that becomes a question, right? Like, what do I need to do? Because this is now, for it to be the full vision of what I saw. But I'm saying something
that an asset of some sort that in turn pays for the pool, and then you keep it so you outpace it.
Right. Oh, no. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. I'm saying, like, now, I can't just go pull the plug on this. This is going to be a process over some years that I'm going to eventually get that, because at one time I'm not going to be able to do the pool house and the pool. Like, it'll be in stages. Yeah. But I was able to really see that. And again, that's the first thing, like I would say back to this person, do you really see yourself in that next bracket, right? Like, are you making whatever you're making, whether it's 40,000 or 140,000 or $1 million? Do you see yourself at that 100,000, at that million, at that 500,000? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, these are questions you have to be asking yourself, because if you really don't see yourself there, you're never going to get there.
Yeah. And it's strategy too, like you're saying. Like, if you're focusing on the stuff that doesn't, the 80-20 rule, if 80% of the stuff isn't creating income, then focus on the 20%.
Yep.
I have to sneak this in because I wanted to talk about it. So we're talking a lot about like mental and money and like the barriers when you think about a sum of money, right? Yep. And I was thinking the other day, and I'm like, I wonder why people, and I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not encouraging you to do anything, but this is what I was thinking about. I was like, I wonder why Bitcoin, everyone that I talk to that doesn't have any awareness of it, their default is it's expensive, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, so why is that? Like gold, when you think of gold, what form do you think of it in? Like a bar,
Me personally,
right?
a block.
A bar.
Block, a bar, whatever.
Right? So you think of it in a bar, but no one gets overwhelmed by a bar of gold being X.
Yes.
They're like, I'll buy a gram, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, is it a branding issue that people think of a coin
I think it's not worth the...
Or think they can divide it a million ways, which is what you can do.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it. I'm like, wow, that's such a minor branding thing. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, it's called a Satoshi, which maybe that sounds fugazi. So like maybe that's hurting
What is that?
But it's a piece, 1 millionth of a Bitcoin.
It's a Bitcoiner?
Yeah. So, but my point being is like, everything has preconceived notions of what you think, like, a coin, and that's a price of a coin, so it's expensive.
Yeah. Versus
like that coin is a technology. So like my point being, if you go to the next step, rather than just scare yourself off and say it's too expensive, like getting a pool or getting an asset, if you keep digging deeper, then you could probably get to something that, even if you don't buy it, you at least understand it better.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
But I think a lot of people, including myself, will see something and be like, oh, it's too expensive. In reality, like commercial properties that are $1.5 million, it's the same amount of money you got to put into the property versus a single family home, but there's more upside. But there's a mental barrier. Mm-hmm. It's like, holy hell, there's X amount in debt. You could be paying it off with the tenants, but it's still debt.
That's also, and just to add to that, though, you have to be willing to endure risk.
You got to get comfortable at each level.
But do you not see the common theme?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's everything.
But again, that fitness mindset for me has been a tool for every piece of my life, because physically I can get to 10 reps and I can feel the burn. But am I going to do 11 or am I going to put it down?
Yeah.
It's very easy in fitness. I always say that. Yeah. But then when it comes to business, which is exactly what we're talking about here, it's the exact same thing. If you don't endure the tough times, you're never going to be able to reap the benefits. You have a death in your family, somehow, some way, we always find a way through it, right? It doesn't last forever. And it's the tough times that really create that next level of people and what you're going for. Some of my team members, I talk to them one-on-one, their visions are too small. They want to be employees for the rest of their life. Yes, we're all employees. Like, we all at some point report somewhere to somebody. But you're looking at yourself in the same exact spot. You think that that's where you're supposed to be because of your personal habits that you haven't really developed to now give you the confidence to move you in the next direction.
But you're speaking another dialect, another level of math that they haven't even looked at yet, right? Like, some people, which there's no fault to them, but some people are just worrying about getting by that day.
But we're all in that same, we've all been in that same spot.
I know, I'm just saying, but that's like, when people are at that stage, your heart goes out because you're like, you just got to get over this hump. When you have a little extra, you can then research like, what do I do with it? But if you don't have extra,
and again, I'm very fortunate. I am blessed. Like I've shared the story of my dad who told me years later, just recently, he was taking physical bottles and cans, putting that in his car to get gas. Like you don't what I see, you don't get lower than that in a sense, and you don't have a more stressful situation when it comes to finances. One, we never even knew that. He had 3 kids and a wife, and we never knew that. Right? Today, my dad is an entrepreneur. I mean, he's always been an entrepreneur, but he's opening his own, insurance firm. Like, how did you go from there to there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we were talking the other day, and he was like, buddy, I'm really proud of you or whatever. And I said, dude, I got my work ethic is from you. The difference, and he was like, wow, this is the difference. I have a very focused approach on where I'm going, whereas he was more like you, was trying, no, seriously,
a bunch of stuff, trying
everything, but it ended up panning out for him.
Yeah.
And now he lives very comfortably.
Yeah.
But it's ironic to go from that to where he's at now. So it's not like I'm speaking these things and I didn't go through this. And, I wasn't the same dude for the majority of all of my 20s up until I was 28 years old, working 16 hours a day. Right? Like that was a reality for me.
Yes, agreed. And to hammer the point home, the podcast is not meant for us to preach to everyone. It's just meant to show people like what we're doing. Yeah, you can be inspired by it. You cannot be.
Right.
But hopefully at the end of the day, you'll look at it and be like, wow, they actually achieved something, personal, professional, with the No Snooze brand. But that's all we're out to do is like, this is accountability for us.
Yes.
Because if we come on this podcast and talk about nothing that we're achieving, then what's the point?
Can we get into my favorite section?
Absolutely.
I think you're going to like my quote.
I always like your quotes.
So welcome to Dave's Dime of the Week.
Dimes.
I got to wait an extra second so all the dimes can drop and don't start speaking when the dimes are dropping. Shout out CV and our AV crew here, because if you haven't watched on YouTube, the entries of things that they've put in have been hilarious. Like good. When I got the 219 on my workout, it was like a big 219 with like a star, like like I'm a little child. Hilarious. So this is by your boy, Drizzy Drake Rogers. Okay. Hold on, I got to pull it up here.
Wait, is that actually Drake or a different guy?
No, Drake. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was a guy named Drake Rogers. That's why.
You can't talk power moves and life goals around people who don't have the same hunger as you. It will just sound like you are bragging. Think about that.
It's good.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good. How many times have we said that? But seriously, think about that.
Was that a quote or in a lyric?
No, it's a quote. Yeah,
it's
it's quoted by him. But like I resonated when I read that. That resonated with me so much because I'm very passionate about things. I'm very extra, as you can see, but it's because I'm hungry as hell to get to that level, right? And that's why I speak the way that I speak. But I do get a response from people a lot that it seems like I'm arrogant or cocky or and really when I couldn't identify it, and that's a big part of it. It seems to people like you're bragging if you're doing well and excited about getting to the next level. So just keep going on your path. Right?
Well said. I like it.
Talk to me.
Miguel's mantra.
Oh,
I've graduated.
We're growing up now.
I'm grown up.
I don't have a thing for that. You said the Ella, but Miguela, Ella, but then it makes you like a female. Miguel's mantra. I don't know. Maybe have a guy do a salsa or something. It's pretty good, right? There's going to be a little dancing salsa.
Yeah, that's going to be incredible.
Ding, ding, ding.
This is from Anthony Bourdain. My man did it right. I got a lot of idols that are in the food game, which I didn't realize, Interesting stuff.
Well, the food game is still a business.
The food game's a business, but I think it's the culture stuff. I think I like the format. I don't know. I got to figure that out at some point. Maybe it's just always on TV. When I was growing up. I don't know. It's cool. But Anthony Bourdain, one of my favorite, he has some of the best quotes of all time. It's basically about enjoying yourself. So my favorite of his is life's a roller coaster. Life's a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Think about that a lot lately because we get so down in, I got to do this. I got to stay on the diet. I got to do this.
Yep.
When you have the opportunity to go out to dinner with the family midweek, go do it. You just got to work out harder the next day.
I love that thought process.
Versus being I can't do it because then I'm only going to do this workout and then I'm not. Just, do more.
Yep.
That's the difference. Is like either you do less or you do more. So just do more.
Wow. Not to be rude here, but I actually just picked up the phone, so my wife is on the line. Babe, you're on a live podcast.
No.
Say hello to the people. Mike just finished up his quote.
It was electric.
I didn't want to miss your call. So guys, until next time, stop snoozing. My wife just banged on me.
Get up and get after it. I thought she was gonna take the outro.
She hung up on me. It's all right.
Wow. What did you call banged on me? That's another Effie in the books. Go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No Snooze Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Snooze.